about the 1820s when this guitar was born. Tell me the tales that to me were so dear, long, long ago, long, long ago. Sing me the songs I delighted to hear, long, long ago, long ago. Now you have come, all my grief is removed. Let me forget that so long you have roved. Let me believe that you love as you loved long, long ago, long ago. Do you remember the paths where we met long, long ago, long, long ago? Ah, yes, you told me you'd never forget long, long ago, long ago. Then to all others my smile you preferred. Love, when you spoke, gave a charm to each word. Still my heart treasures the praises I heard long, long ago, long ago. Still not quite in tune. That's what happens when you're 200 years old. This is a guitar that I found on eBay a couple of years ago, and it arrived from Texas in very, very bad shape. And I brought it to Bob Stubblebine, who at the Stubblebine Lutherie, and he repaired the headstock and he fixed the neck and made it playable again. And while he had the top off of it, we could see that there was writing inside, and it said Machen in Stassen, which is a town in Germany, made in Stassen, and that was where a man named Stauffer produced guitars exactly like this. And C.F. Martin apprenticed with Stauffer and came to New York in the 1830s, where he continued making this design. The very oldest Martins in museums are shaped like this. There was no date inside, but Bob and some of his fellow luthiers agree it was in the 1820s or 1830s. Well, I want to do a song of about that vintage again. This is about the world's oldest profession and the twists of fate that might force a woman to work in a place like the famous New Orleans brothel, the House of the Rising Sun. There is a house in New Orleans they call the Rising Sun, and it's been the ruin of many a poor girl and me. Oh God, I'm one. My daddy was a sailor. He sewed them new blue jeans. My mama kept the candles lit for him down in New Orleans. a suitcase and a trunk. And the only time he's satisfied is when he's on a drunk. Go tell my baby sister, don't do what I have done, but shun that house in New Orleans they call the rising sun. With one foot on the platform and one foot on the train, I'm going back to New Orleans to wear that ball and chain. I'm going back to New Orleans. My race is almost run. I'm going back to spend my life beneath that rising sun. Well, next we go all the way back to the 1600s for a song called The Prodigal's Resolution. It was published in 1720 in a collection of songs by Thomas Durfee entitled Mirth and Wit, or Pills to Purge Melancholy. He called the songs pills. They were medicine, and music is definitely medicine. And we don't know who wrote these words, but the tune is a very old one called Jamaica, which appeared in a collection called The Dancing Master in 1670. So in this song, a son has inherited his father's estate at the age of 21 and plans to thoroughly enjoy it. Dad was a lawyer who started out as a sawyer, a woodcutter, and a moneylender, or usurer. So... I am a lusty, lively lad, now come to 21. My father left me all he had, both gold and silver plenty. Now he's in grave, I will be brave, the ladies shall adore me. I'll court and kiss, what hurts in this, my father did so before me. My father was a thrifty sir, till soul and body sundered. Some say he was a usurer, for 30 in the 100. He scraped and scratched, she pinched and patched, that in her body bore me. But I'll let fly, in good cause why, my father was born before me. That's usually the way it works. So I get wealth, what care if I, my grandsir, were a sawyer? My father proved to be a chief and subtle learned lawyer. By cook's reports and tricks in courts, he did with treasure store me, that I may say, heaven bless the day, my father was born before me. So many blades that rant in silk and put on scarlet clothing, at first did spring from buttermilk, their ancestors worth nothing. Old Adam and our grandam Eve, by digging and by spinning, did to all kings and princes give their radical beginning. Our aged counselors would have us live by rule and reason, 'cause they are marching to the grave and pleasure's out of season. I learned to dance the mode of France, that ladies may adore me. My thrifty dad no pleasure had, though he was born before me. Oh my goodness. Ooh, we're gonna tune again. This is the tuning program. Now the songs are getting older and older. This one is from at least the 1500s. They say it was a favorite of Henry VIII. It's been sung for over 500 years. It has various sets of words. And I'll do some of the oldest ones I can find. It's Greensleeves. Alas, my love, you do me wrong to cast me off discourteously, for I have loved you well and long, delighting in your company. Greensleeves was all my joy, and Greensleeves was my delight. Greensleeves was my heart of gold, and who but my lady Greensleeves? Thou couldst desire no earthly thing, but still thou had it readily, thy music still to play and sing, and yet thou would not love me. Greensleeves was all my joy, and Greensleeves was my delight. Greensleeves was my heart of gold, and who but my lady Greensleeves? Ah, now, Greensleeves, farewell, adieu. To God I pray to prosper thee, for I am still thy lover true. Come once again and love me. Greensleeves was all my joy, and Greensleeves was my delight. Greensleeves was my heart of gold, and who but my lady Greensleeves? Switching from minor to major at the end of a song like that is known as the Picardy third. You're raising the third note in the chord by half a step. And it's a very classically Renaissance sound. Next we have Billy Boy, which is very old. God knows when it dates from. Probably about the time of this guitar, early 1800s. And it's about a, charming Billy, as they call him. And he's off to find a wife. And the things that he considers important in this girl that he has met are very interesting. Oh, where have you been, Billy boy, Billy boy? Oh, where have you been, charming Billy? I've been to seek a wife, she's the joy of my life. She's a young thing and cannot leave her mother. Did she bid you to come in, Billy boy, Billy boy? Did she bid you to come in, charming Billy? Yes, she bade me to come in. There's a dimple in her chin. She's a young thing and cannot leave her mother. Did she set for you a chair, Billy boy, Billy boy? Did she set for you a chair, charming Billy? Yes, she set for me a chair. She has ringlets in her hair. She's a young thing and cannot leave her mother. Can she bake a cherry pie, Billy boy, Billy boy? Can she bake a cherry pie, charming Billy? She can bake a cherry pie quick as a cat can wink an eye. She's a young thing and cannot leave her mother. Oh, do tell, how old is she, Billy boy, Billy boy? Oh, do tell, how old is she, charming Billy? 3 times 6 and 4 times 7, 28 and 11. She's a young thing and cannot leave her mother. Well, we're going to take a little break from this and play this for a song. This is my dulcimer, not nearly as old as that, but better behaved in the tuning department for sure. Anyway, here is a song called The Seeds of Love. When hundreds of years ago flowers symbolized various things, violets stood for modesty, lilies for purity, pinks for happiness. And the rose, of course, meant true love. It's still the symbol of that. And the willow tree with its drooping branches stood for sorrow. And in the song, we have a woman who's planted her garden and the flowers have come up and she can't seem to pick which ones she wants to put in her sitting room or whatever. So she asks the gardener to pick for her. And it has an echo of the way that women were, for many centuries, not really allowed to choose their own partners. They had to accept arrangements made by others. So she rejects all the flowers he picks, and she tells him why. And then she settles on the rose. I sowed the seeds of love, and I sowed them in the spring. I gathered them up in the morning so soon, while the small birds sweetly sing, while the small birds so sweetly sing. My garden was planted well, with flowers everywhere, but I had not the liberty to choose for myself of the flowers I love so dear, of the flowers I love so dear. The gardener was standing by, and I asked him to choose for me. He chose for me the violet, the lily, and the pink, but of those I refused all three. Of those I refused all three. The violet I did not like, because it bloomed so soon. The lily and the pink I really overthink, so I vowed I would wait till June. I vowed I would wait till June. In June came a red, red rose, and that is the flower for me. I often have plucked that red rosebud till I gain the willow tree, till I gain the willow tree. The willow tree will twist, and the willow tree will twine. I often have wished I was in that young man's arms who once had the heart of mine, who once had the heart of mine. Come all you false young complain for the grass that has often been trampled underfoot. Give it time, it will rise again. Give it time, it will rise again. It's just so interesting to hear. You know, this is not, well, look how small it is. This was not a dreadnought. The name for that enormous size of guitar, as you can tell, dreadnought, came much, much later. This was for playing in a quiet little parlor close to your audience, just as we are here on Zoom. This also comes from about the 1820s, written by a couple of Englishmen named John Payne and Sir Henry Bishop. And their song Home, Sweet Home was the theme song of the 19th century, a phrase stitched into a gazillion samplers of the little flower-covered cottage filled with a mother's love. So here's Home, Sweet Home. Mid pleasures and palaces, though we may roam, be it ever so humble, there's no place like home. A charm from the skies seems to hallow us there, which seek through the world is ne'er met with elsewhere. Home, home, sweet, sweet home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. I gaze on the moon as I tread the drear wild, and feel that my mother now thinks of her child, as she looks on that moon from our own cottage door, through the woodbine whose fragrance shall cheer me no more. Home, home, sweet, sweet home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. An exile from home, splendor dazzles in vain. Oh, give me my lowly thatched cottage again. The birds singing gaily that came at my call, give me them and that peace of mind dearer than all. Home, home, sweet, sweet home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. This is goober peas, which are peanuts, and it was written by soldiers in the South. The blockade and removed everything edible or wearable or usable from the South, and they were reduced to eating peanuts. And this has a very old joke, a couple of old jokes. But the one you might not get is that it says, when a horseman passes, the soldiers always yell out, "Mister, here's your mule!" And they'd fall down laughing hysterically. And this dates from one time in 1860, whatever, 63, possibly. A peddler came into camp to sell pots and pans and stuff. And so he went in the mess tent to do it, and the soldiers, who were dreadfully bored, nothing had happened in a long time, they hid his mule in another tent. And when he came out, his mule was gone, and somebody way at the south end of the camp yelled, "Mister, here's your mule!" And so he ran all the way to the end as everyone laughed. And then someone at the far northern end of the camp yelled, "Mister, here's your mule!" And they ran the poor man all over, and it was extremely amusing. Yeah, you had to be there. Sitting by the roadside on a summer's day, chatting with my messmates, passing time away, lying in the shadows underneath the trees. Goodness, how delicious, eating goober peas. Peas, 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 eating goober peas. Goodness, how delicious, eating goober peas. Peas, 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 eating goober peas. Goodness, how delicious, eating goober peas. When a horseman passes, the soldiers have a rule. They cry out their loudest, "Mister, here's your mule." But another custom, enchantinger than these, is wearing out your grinders, eating goober peas. Peas, 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 eating goober peas. Goodness, how delicious, eating goober peas. Just before the battle, the general hears a row. He says, "The Yanks are coming, I hear their rifles now." He turns around in wonder, and what do you think he sees? The whole Georgia militia cracking goober peas. Peas, 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 eating goober peas. Goodness, how delicious, eating goober peas. I think my song has lasted just about enough. The subject's interesting, but the rhymes are mighty rough. I wish the war was over, when free from rags and fleas, we'd kiss our wives and sweethearts, say goodbye to goober peas. Peas, 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 eating goober peas. Goodness, how delicious, eating goober peas. Peas, 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 eating goober peas. Goodness, how delicious, eating goober peas. This one dates also from the era of the Civil War, 1862. The tune is a traditional Welsh tune, but the words were by Thomas Oliphant, The Ash Grove. He's wandering in a beautiful grove of trees, and the birds are singing. And when I was a Girl Scout, this was one of the favorite songs we sang. We did it in harmony around the campfire. We just adored this song. We altered the words a little, and in fact, we never sang the second verse. I didn't know what it was until I looked it up maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And the reason is that at the end, someone has died, as is classic in folk songs, and perhaps, you know, having the little girls at camp sing about death was maybe not ideal. But it's a gorgeous thing. Down yonder green valley, where streamlets meander, where twilight is fading, I pensively rove. Or at the bright noontide, in solitude wander, amid the dark shades of the lonely ash grove. 'Tis there where the blackbird was cheerfully singing, I first met my dear one, the joy of my heart. Around us for gladness the bluebells were ringing. Ah, then little thought I how soon we should part. Still glows the bright sunshine o'er valley and mountain, still warbles the blackbird his note from the tree. Still trembles the moonbeam on streamlet and fountain, but what are the beauties of nature to me? With sorrow, deep sorrow, my bosom is laden. All day I go mourning in search of my love. Ye echoes, oh tell me, where is the sweet maiden? She sleeps 'neath the green turf down by the ash grove. This is the Housewife's Lament. I don't know quite where it dates from, but it's been around for a while. One day as I wandered, I heard a complaining. Saw an old woman, the picture of gloom. She gazed at the mud on her doorstep. 'Twas raining. These were her words as she wielded her broom. Oh, life is a toil and love is a trouble. Beauty will fade and riches will flee. Pleasures they dwindle as prices they double, and nothing is as I would wish it to be. There's too much of worriment goes in a bonnet. Too much of ironing goes in a shirt. There's nothing that pays for the time you waste on it. Nothing that lasts us but trouble and dirt. It's sweeping at 6 and it's dusting at 7. Victuals at 8 and it's dishes at 9. It's potting and panning from 10 to 11. We scarce take our rest, for we plan how to dine. Oh, life is a toil and love is a trouble. Beauty will fade and riches will flee. Pleasures they dwindle as prices they double, and nothing is as I would wish it to be. In March it is mud, it is snow in December. The midsummer breezes are loaded with dust. In fall the leaves litter, in rainy September the wallpaper rots and the candlesticks rust. There's worms on the cherries, slugs on the roses, ants in the sugar and mice in the pies. The rubbish of spiders no mortal supposes, and ravaging roaches and damaging flies. Oh, life is a toil and love is a trouble. Beauty will fade and riches will flee. Pleasures they dwindle as prices they double, and nothing is as I would wish it to be. Last night in a dream I was stationed forever on a far little rock in the midst of the sea. My one chance for life was a ceaseless endeavor to sweep off the waves ere they swept over me. Alas, 'twas no dream, for ahead I behold it. I know I'm helpless my fate to avert. She laid down her broom and her apron she folded, then laid down and died and was buried in dirt. Oh, life is a toil and love is a trouble. Beauty will fade and riches joys will flee. Pleasures they dwindle as prices they double, and nothing is as I would wish it to be. This is an Irish tune, favorite all over the world. It's called The Air from Londonderry, or Londonderry Air. And these words are by Frederick Weatherly, and then he wrote them in 1910. And it's Danny Boy. Oh, Danny Boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone and all the flowers are dying. 'Tis you must go and I must bide. But come ye back when summer's in the meadow, or when the valley's hushed and white with snow. 'Tis I'll be there in sunshine or in shadow. Oh, Danny boy, oh, Danny boy, I love you so. But if ye come and all the flowers are dying, and I am dead, as dead I well may be, you'll come and find the place where I am lying, and kneel and say an Ave there for me, and I shall hear, though soft you tread above me, and all my dreams will warmer, sweeter be, and you'll not fail to tell me that you love me, and I shall sleep in peace until you come to me, and I shall sleep in peace until you come to me. Well, here's one from the 1870s in Minnesota. It's about the Red River Valley. And someone's leaving. Someone's unhappy. Got kind of a twang. From this valley they say you are going. I will miss your bright eyes and sweet smile, for they say you are taking the sunshine that has brightened our pathway the while. Come and sit by my side if you love me. Do not hasten to bid me adieu, but remember the Red River Valley and the one who has loved you so true. Do you think of the valley you're leaving? Oh, how lonely and dreary it will be. Do you think of the fond heart you're breaking, and the sad heart you are breaking, for they tell me you're going away. As you go to your home by the ocean, may you never forget those sweet hours that we spent in the Red River Valley, and the love we exchanged mid the flowers. Come and sit by my side if you love me. Do not hasten to bid me adieu, but remember the Red River Valley and the one who has loved you so true. Well, here's one from the late 1800s, when some 60,000 people were riding around the country in empty freight cars. It started back then, and it kept up, and it really peaked in the 30s. By the Great Depression, there were 1 million people called hobos and tramps. They had nowhere to be, nowhere to go, no work to do. Well, in this song, which is called Wanderin', I imagine some folks sitting in a boxcar, and each one tells how they wound up wandering. I've been wandering early and late from New York City to the Golden Gate, and it don't look like I'll ever stop my wandering. My daddy was an engineer, my brother drives a hack, my sister takes in washing while the baby bawls the jack, and it don't look like I'll ever stop my wandering. My ma, she died when I was young, my daddy took to stealing and he got hung, and it don't look like I'll ever stop my wandering. I've been in the army, worked on a farm, and all I got to show is the muscle in my arm, and it don't look like I'll ever stop my wandering. Snakes in the ocean, eels in the sea, I let a red-headed woman make a fool out of me, and it don't look like I'll ever stop my wandering. I've been wandering far and wide, I come in with the wind and drift away with the tide, and it don't look like I'll ever stop my wandering. No, 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 it don't look like I'll ever stop my wandering. I have 2 more songs for you. Yes. And this next one goes back to the War of 1812. In December 1814, England and the United States signed a treaty in Belgium that ended the War of 1812. But the news, of course, had to get on a ship, on a letter, and cross the Atlantic Ocean. And in January 1815, the war's biggest battle was fought anyway near New Orleans. After defeating Napoleon in Europe, Britain had invaded U.S. cities, including Baltimore, where Francis Scott Key wrote the Star-Spangled Banner. Well, Andrew Jackson, a general known as Old Hickory, put together a force of soldiers, sailors, frontiersmen, free men of color, men who were enslaved, and Choctaw Indians. He even recruited the help of a band of pirates led by Jean Lafitte. Citizens from New Orleans of all races and classes turned out to dig earthworks that helped turn back attacks by troops under the British General Pakenham. And though outnumbered, the Americans killed 2,000 British soldiers, including Pakenham, and lost only about 300. It was a huge morale boost for an insecure country and eventually made Jackson president. So here's the Battle of New Orleans. Well, in 1814, we took a little trip along with Colonel Jackson down the mighty Mississippi. We took a little bacon and we took a little beans, and we fought the bloody British near the town of New Orleans. Fired our guns and the British kept a-comin', wasn't as many as there was a while ago. Fired once more and they began a-running down the Mississippi to the Gulf of Mexico. Well, I seed Colonel Jackson walking down the street, talking to a pirate by the name of Jean Lafitte. He gave Jean a drink that he brung from Tennessee, and the pirate said he'd help us drive the British to the sea. The French said, Andrew, you'd better run, 'cause Pakenham's a-comin' with a bullet in his gun. Old Hickory said that he didn't give a damn, he's gonna whip the britches off of Colonel Pakenham. Fired our guns and the British kept a-comin', wasn't as many as there was a while ago. Fired once more, they began a-running down the Mississippi to the Gulf of Mexico. Well, we looked down the river and we seen the British come. There must have been 100 of them beating on a drum. They stepped so high and they made the bugles ring. We stood beside our cotton bales and didn't say a thing. Old Hickory said we could take 'em by surprise if we didn't fire our muskets till we looked 'em in the eyes. We held our fire till we seed their faces well, then we opened up our squirrel guns and really gave 'em hell. Fired our guns and the British kept a-comin', wasn't as many as there was a while ago. Fired once more and they began a-running down the Mississippi to the Gulf of Mexico. Well, we fired our cannon till the barrel melted down, so we grabbed an alligator and we fought another round. We filled his head with cannonballs and powdered his behind, and when we touched the powder off, the gator lost his mind. Well, they ran through the briars and they ran through the brambles and they ran through the bushes where a rabbit couldn't go. They ran so fast that the hounds couldn't catch 'em down the Mississippi to the Gulf of Mexico. Now at the end of the hour, it's kind of hanging in there. I think it's just very sensitive. It's made of maple and has a really fascinatingly shaped head with these tuners on the side like a bass. And I mean, I know in my bones how to tune a guitar, but that's not how you tune this one. You go over here, there's nothing. A song called The Lakes of Pontchartrain. We're back in New Orleans. Spent quite a bit of time there in this concert. In this song, a traveling Frenchman from Canada, from Quebec, in the first verse, he's actually leaving New Orleans, and he fondly recalls the hospitality that he just left behind in a cottage on the shores of Lake Pontchartrain, where he was befriended by a Creole girl and her family. 'Twas on one bright March morning I bade New Orleans adieu. I took the road to Jackson Town, my fortune to renew. I cursed all foreign money, no credit could I gain, which filled my heart with longing for the lakes of Pontchartrain. I stepped on board a railroad car beneath the morning sun. I rode it till the evening came, and then I laid me down. there no friends to me, till a dark girl toward me came, and I fell in love with a Creole girl by the lakes of Pontchartrain. I said, my pretty Creole girl, my money here's no good. If it weren't for the alligators, I'd sleep out in the wood. You're welcome here, kind stranger. Our house is very plain, but we never turn a stranger out from the lakes of Pontchartrain. She took me to her mammy's house and treated me right well. The hair upon her shoulders in jet black ringlets fell. To try and paint her beauty, I'm sure 'twould be in vain. So handsome was my Creole girl by the lakes of Pontchartrain. I asked her if she'd marry me, and she said that it ne'er could be, for she had got another, and he was far at sea. She said that she would wait for him, and true she would remain, till he returned for his Creole girl by the lakes of Pontchartrain. So fare thee well, my bonny girl, I ne'er will see thee more. I'll ne'er forget your kindness in the cottage by the shore, and at every social gathering a flowing glass I'll raise, and drink a health to my Creole girl by the lakes of Pontchartrain, and drink all health to my Creole girl by the lakes of